Hey, welcome back to Behind the Internet. We're taking a look at security today and antivirus protection through our Wisper Home app. But let game talk. First, let's do some introductions. I'm Aaron. I'm the outside sales agent for Wisper Internet.
Thanks, Aaron. I'm Jesse. I am in Washington, Missouri, Field Services and Towers. And again today for the third time, and we're kind of wrapping up the Wisper Home app series with Gabe. And doesn't mean this is the last time we're going to see him, but that's going to be the last of this series. So you can always go back and watch the first one, watch the second one, and then wrap it up with the antivirus one. So anyways, Gabe, tell us about yourself.
Yeah. Hey, thanks guys. Appreciate you having me back again. It's been fun. Third time's a charm, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. We're getting good at it now.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I feel like a pro at this point. So yeah, I've been working with the Wisper team. I work for a company called Calix. We work with service providers all across the United States, and had the pleasure of working with Aaron and Jesse and the team to help deliver the Wisper Home app. So happy to share some of the specifics about the network protection service that's delivered through the Wisper Care plan, which I think is fantastic and something that everybody can really benefit from. So yeah, excited to talk about that today.
Awesome. Well, welcome back. Again, this is our third video on the Wisper Home app. So if you've missed the other ones, be sure to go back on YouTube and on our Facebook page and, give them a thumbs up if you don't mind. And with the Wisper Home app, our new and improved Wisper Care plan, you can now find more information. We're going to throw them into the comments here in a minute. And we've already talked about the app navigation and parental controls. And today we're looking at security. So Gabe, what kinds of security features are available in the app?
Yeah, so I'll talk about it a little bit, and then I'll jump in and kind of show a little bit of a demonstration of how that Protect IQ actually works. But what I think is really great about the network protection solution that's delivered through the Wisper Care plan is it protects every single device that's connected within your home. I think that's a really important distinction. When we talk about virus protection and things like that, you have your Nortons, you have your McAfees, you have those solutions that you can go out and buy for your laptop or, a desktop or whatever, but it's only protecting that specific device. And having protection for all of the devices that are connected within our homes, I think is really critical, especially as we put more smart home devices in our home, the smart thermostats and the Ring doorbells and the cameras and, all of these different things. It's so critical to have that protection for all of those devices across the network.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got my app on my phone. I got it hooked up to my router, and I'm starting to see all those really cool features that we've talked about a couple shows down, and real excited about this one today. Just want to mention real quick, anybody watching during the show, you can always ask questions and we'll answer them. Or if you're watching it after the fact, please still ask questions and we will still answer those. So always like the participation. We've had some really good questions in the past. So yeah, Gabe, I've got my the app downloaded. I've got it synced up with my the router, and I'm starting to see those features. And while you're going through it, I'm going to try to follow along as you're going through this portion of the show.
Perfect. Let me share my screen.
All right.
On my Wisper Home app. And let's see here, boys.
Yeah, while he's doing that, a lot of, just customization you can do. You can throw your picture on there. I'm getting alerts when other things connect to it. It's even in the middle of the night, I'll see my phone go off and I'll notice an Apple Watch or something connect to the network. So I'll get in there and name it whose it is and stuff like that. It's a pretty sweet app and gives you a lot of customization. Go ahead, Gabe.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you guys see that okay? Oops,
yep.
Clicked the wrong thing. All right. So for the network protection services, to enable this is actually fairly easy. So if we just come up here under the hamburger menu up in the top left-hand corner, my Protect IQ is already enabled. So if it was not enabled, you'd see something here that says Enable Application. And you could just click on that and then click on Protect IQ listed here. That's what we call the network security service. And it would be enabled. So let's actually jump in and look at the functionality here. So when I click on Protect IQ, it's going to tell me a little bit about what it's been doing. And again, this is something that's protecting all of the devices that are connected within the network. And I think that's a really important distinction. It's not just virus protection that's installed on a laptop or a desktop. It's protecting all of the devices that are connected within your home. So we see some information about how long it's been up and running, when the last update occurred. And then you see some information about what has actually been happening within the network. So you see that today I've had 3,172,000 packets analyzed in my network. I work from home, I've got my laptop and my kids schooling from home and all that. So we've got a lot of devices that are connected throughout the day. But Protect IQ is going through and scanning all of these packets that are coming through my network. And just today, it's scanned almost 3.2 million packets of information that have gone through my home network. So frankly, kind of an insane number of packets that are going across your network on a day-to-day basis. And Protect IQ is looking at all of those things.
Yeah, that's cool. And so is that going to be a running tool? So it looks like maybe you can hit refresh at the top and those numbers will go up. Or does it take some time for that to update itself?
It typically will update anytime you go out to another portion of the app and then come back, or you can click the refresh button and it will show you that as well. So you can see it I just hit refresh and it jumped up to 3.19 million one, or
basically real time.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. And that's always just showing the activity from that day. So it's going to show, when you start tomorrow, it's just going to accumulate that information through the day. Mm-hmm. The other thing that it shows is, so we're protecting against three specific things here. It's viruses, it's intrusions, and it's web threats. And I'll talk a little bit about each one of those. So viruses are your traditional viruses, right? I mean, I think everybody kind of understands at a high level what that is. It's, somebody's put a virus in an email that they've sent to you, you accidentally click on the email, and now your device is your device is infected, with that virus. But there are other things that people have been doing as well, things like intrusions. So intrusions are somebody's actually trying to hack into your network. And we're seeing this more and more now with smart home devices specifically. That is, without a doubt, the biggest, I think, risk that exists within our homes. And I've seen situations, I think I talked about this on one of the other sessions, but I have one of my coworkers has a Nest thermostat, and like many of us do, I think that's pretty ubiquitous from a smart home technology perspective at this point, right? Many people have that, sure. Or some other, an Echo Bee or something like that. So somebody actually tried to hack into her Nest thermostat, and she has Protect IQ turned on. It notified her that, hey, this intrusion was blocked from letting somebody hack into your Nest thermostat. And she thought, well, what difference does it make? What are they going to do? Turn my temperature up and down? Like, who cares? But what she was talking to one of the folks internally here, and they were saying, well, they're actually not really trying to get into your Nest thermostat. They're trying to get into your network. And then once they've got in through the Nest thermostat, then they're able to connect to all of the other devices and do things that are potentially problematic. And then web threats would be what would probably be most typically called malware. So again, that's probably something that maybe comes in an email, or you're going to a website that has been hacked and you get malware downloaded to a device, something like that. So we're protecting against all three of those things. And what you see here is in my home, I've had one virus detected and blocked, 3 web intrusions, and 4 web threats that have been blocked. This is cumulative over the last 30 days. So I would say I'm a relatively safe searcher, so I'm probably not getting a ton of these things. But even, within my own home, I've had a few of these things that have been blocked over a 30-day period of time.
Gotcha. That was going to be my next question. Is that the 24-hour period of time we were just talking about, or I see the uptime of 27 days. So that's.
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep, exactly. And then if there are alerts that happen, so you guys are talking about, hey, when a new device gets connected or something like that, you get those alerts back through the Wisper Home app about a new device being connected. Well, we can see that those alerts come through as well. So when something happens, I'll get an alert to my phone, or actually it pops up on my Apple Watch, which is kind of cool. That says, hey, by the way, a threat was blocked, and here were some details. It happened on your iPhone. This is when it was blocked. This was the threat. Blah blah blah. Honestly, this doesn't really mean a heck of a lot to me, but I'm happy that it's being blocked. The other thing it has here is if this was something that got blocked, I would say kind of erroneously, right? Like maybe it thinks that something that I believe is okay is actually, it's blocking, the app is blocking that. I can just add that to the trust list by clicking that add to trust list right at the bottom, and then it will not be blocked anymore. So if for some reason it is something that is, you're okay with, right? It's actually not a problem, and you know that it's not a problem, then you could just quickly add that to the trusted list directly from the alerts.
Yeah, very good. I've noticed, and I'm glad you used that as an example. I've had to correct people many times in homes or just in normal conversation. Well, I've got this Apple phone. It's not susceptible to viruses or threats, and I'm like, well, not true. That's not true at all, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably lower risk, right, than a laptop or something like that. But there's still definitely risk on our smartphones and our iPads, and and again, really those smart home devices as well. And that the security on smart home devices is honestly pretty garbage a lot of times. There's a lot of hard-coded passwords, an admin or something like that, where they don't change these things in the back end of the software, and so hackers will just scroll through, right, and just try and use these things that they know are common passwords and usernames to try and gain access to our homes. And I think there's just a lot of risk around that, unfortunately. These smart home devices make our homes more convenient, where we can talk to the Amazon Echo and have her turn on the lights or whatever, right? And it's great, but unfortunately some of those things do open us up to risk, right?
Absolutely, you got it.
So I just wanted to hit on a couple of the other buttons here down at the bottom. So we have that trusted list. I mentioned that. So if you were to click on this one and add it to the trusted list, then it would be shown in that trusted list going forward. So you can see which things have been added to the trusted list. I actually don't have any, so I don't see any listed here. But if I had any, they would be listed here as trusted list items. The other thing we have here is the ability to skip devices. So we've run into some situations, or we've seen some situations where somebody has a really old device with very old software and it can't be upgraded. And so because of that, the Protect IQ solution or the network security solution thinks it's actually like a virus or a piece of malware. And so it won't let that device connect to the internet. So you do have the ability to go in here and skip devices. So if you have that problem where maybe you've got a super old desktop or something like that, right? You can always go in here and skip that device. Probably not something we would recommend, but it is something that you do have the ability to do if you have a specific situation like that where you want to skip a device.
All right.
And look at that. Now I'm up to 3.283 million that have been skipped so far. Every few minutes.
Going up, and you're streaming and all that kind of stuff, and just a lot of packets going on. I can tell just by all the features and stuff that this was created through a lot of trial and error. There was a lot of a lot of detail and a lot of probably a lot of hard work going into this to make sure it's working properly. So this is pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. And frankly, a lot of feedback from our customers, right? And, making sure that we're, really addressing these things. The other thing I should mention is this is updated on a weekly basis. So every week there's new threats that are coming out. There's, new viruses that are created, new malware threats that are created. So we are pushing updates there's a whole big database that sits behind this of, known threats. And that database is updated on a weekly basis. So I think that's really important to note, because I know I've been guilty of this. Like, I've got that little virus protection thing that sits in the bottom of corner of my laptop, and I'm like, ignore, I'll deal with that thing later. And with this, you can't really, right? Like, it's just automatically updating all of the time, which to me is a huge win, because we've all got enough going on in our lives. We don't need to worry about updating software and all of that stuff. Just having that update automatically on a go forward basis, to me, is a really huge win as well.
And so it'd be important to have the auto updates enabled on your phone for these apps, correct?
Definitely. That's something we would recommend just in general is, for the Wisper Home app, certainly make sure you have automatic updates turned on, because there's new functionality that's going to come out into these as well. And as new features and new functions are rolled out, you want to make sure that you're getting access to those. We actually have a really exciting one rolling out next week. We can talk about that a little bit at the end, actually, if you want. But got a great new feature rolling out next week that I'm really excited about. If you have auto updates turned on from your app, it will just automatically update, and you'll be able to see all of those new features.
Excellent. Very good.
I wanted to talk a little bit about security settings as well. This is something that, again, I think is really important. So under the security settings section, there is what we call IPS protocol anomaly and IPS port scan defense. I realize those names probably don't mean a lot to you. They don't really mean a lot to me either. But what they are doing is they are scanning primarily things like cameras is actually where we really see the majority of these issues, where people are, again, scanning through networks, trying to find these anomalies, trying to find these ways to get into into devices within your home. And like, let's use Ring doorbell as an example. That's, again, I think one that's pretty pervasive out there in the world at this point, right? All of the video content that's being captured via that Ring doorbell is getting sent back up to the cloud, right? It's going to an Amazon server somewhere. Probably an Amazon server would be my guess, being that Amazon owns Ring, but going to some server in the cloud. Well, that creates risk, right? Because all of that information can be potentially grabbed by a hacker and used in nefarious ways, right? So having the IPS protocol anomaly and IPS port scan defense turned on protects against that. It adds an additional layer of protection to try and prevent people from actually getting in and hacking and getting that content. But it also scans to see if, like as an example, using that Ring doorbell, all of that data is going back to a place on Amazon in Amazon Web Services or in the cloud. Well, if all of a sudden that information starts going to a completely different location, it's been going this way, and all of a sudden it's like, nope, a hacker hacked in and actually is starting to send it to a different server. It will block that and notify you of that as well. So that, to me, I think is a really good reason why you want to have this IPS protocol anomaly and port scan defense turned on. If you have Protect IQ, it's definitely something we would recommend. Just go to the security settings. It's literally just, click those two buttons, and then you've got that, and hit save, obviously. And then you'll have that additional layer of protection that's running within your home as well.
Very good. And those are not automatically checked, so someone will have to go in there and check mark those.
Correct. They're not automatically checked. You will have to go in there and check those. So if you have the Wisper Home plan, you will want to go in there and and make sure that those are checked. So those do
Any reason someone wouldn't want those to check mark off the top of your head?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good question. I can't really think of any.
Yeah, I mean, it's another layer of security. So right, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've heard from some folks that it potentially slowed down really specific applications that they were using. So that may be the one really corner case where you wouldn't want to have it turned on. I will tell you, as somebody who's had these turned on for months and works from home and is a pretty heavy internet user, I have not seen any issues with any of that. So that would be the one reason, maybe, but outside of that, I can't really think of a reason why. I mean, to me, it's that additional level of protection. It's especially with us, connecting more of these, camera devices specifically that are pushing video and pushing content back up to the cloud. To me, it's a really critical piece of this service.
Yeah, check mark them, and if something doesn't seem right, uncheck them, and you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Around, but it sounds like check mark them is the way to go. Very good.
Yep, definitely. All right, let me stop share. Kick it back over. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. Cool. So I did want to, do you want me to talk, can we talk a little bit about new stuff coming next week?
Yeah, I wrote down new feature. This would be a perfect time to do it. I just want to remind everybody again, if you got any questions at any time, ask them, we'll answer them right back. And we appreciate everybody watching. We think this is super important, having Gabe on here and going through this app. There's so many features that, and there's, like I said, we probably have them 3 or 4 more times and still not get through everything. So I really appreciate you here, and let's go through some of those new things that are coming out.
Yeah, so we've got a new feature that's launching next week. It will be part of it's kind of bundled up as part of the Experience IQ or Enhanced Parental Control solution. So it will be part of the Wisper Care plan. So if folks are paying for the Wisper Care plan, they're going to get access to this as well. It's something that we're calling My Priorities. So My Priorities actually allows you to prioritize traffic within your home network. So I am working from home. My son is learning from home. it's more important for me that the video for this call works really well than maybe his video for, his school, or maybe if he's streaming some show in the afternoon on a break or something. I don't necessarily care if he has the best possible experience on that, right? It's more important, it's more critical for my work things to be prioritized. So you can prioritize devices, or you can actually prioritize traffic groups. So if I wanted to prioritize like Zoom traffic and all my work from home applications, I could prioritize that. If I just wanted to prioritize my work laptop, I could do that as well. You can also set schedules for that as well. So if you want to say between the hours of 8 and 5, all of my work stuff is prioritized, and I would love to only work from 8 to 5, but 8 to 5 work stuff is prioritized, and then in the evenings my streaming stuff is prioritized, right? Because my wife and I are sitting on the couch trying to watch something on Netflix. So you can set all these schedules in there as well, so that it's just automatically doing that, and then it's going to prioritize traffic to those specific devices based off of those schedules or those rules that you've put in place. So I think that's going to be really cool for people, and especially what we're dealing with right now, at least in my own world, of working and learning from home. I think it's really something that'll be a huge benefit for folks.
Yeah, that's awesome, because I remember in the first episode going through stuff, I asked about prioritizing with, hey, can I focus on this device or that device? And it wasn't quite there yet, and like magic, there it is. And it looks like you guys went a little further and made it so you can even prioritize the bandwidth for the time of day, which is I've never seen that before in these devices. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a really cool feature, and something that I think can be a real benefit to everybody, right? Like, parental controls, like we talked about last time, obviously for parents and grandparents and things like that, huge benefit, right? But, even a single person, who's maybe working remotely, this is something that would really benefit them. Or maybe a big gamer and, they really want that dedicated traffic to their gaming system in the evenings or whatever, right? So I knew I was going to get you with that one. So, I think it's something that can really benefit everybody, not just parents who are looking to, block content from their kids.
You got it. Very good. Any other features, or that's you could think of?
That is the big one, man. That is the big one coming next week. So yeah. So as of we'll roll that out next Tuesday night. So Wednesday will be when the rollout kind of officially happens. And again, great reason to have automatic updates turned on from the app. If you have those turned on, you'll be able to just update that app on Wednesday, and you'll see those new features if you have the Wisper Care plan.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, all this, most people are paying for antivirus software on each device, it seems like, and that can get and with this all being built into one.
And they're clunky too, Aaron. That's one of the main reasons why I might have gone most of my life without an antivirus program on a computer, because it's taken resources away from other things that I want to do on the computer. So if it's built into the app, that's a win. That's a win in my book.
I'm the same way. And now we both said that. I have a feeling we're getting hacked now. But we got the home app. So
you guys are I've got it. Yeah, I've got it.
That's awesome.
No, that's cool. Well, that was great and to the point today. Aaron, is there anything else that you can think of to add, or any questions that you have?
No, we really went over quite a bit of stuff between the smart devices and how we're protecting them, and the steps in order to making sure that all your devices are listed, and trusting devices, not trusting devices. So I think, we've really, I feel like we really covered today. This was awesome. So and again, if you missed the other two shows, then definitely catch us on YouTube. I'm gonna throw it out there. Give us a like on YouTube for sure. So we're a little excited that we're on YouTube. Okay. So.
Yeah, that's new. But no, Gabe, you've been an all-star for us, and I've got a feeling we're going to have you back. Yeah, you've been really good. I really appreciate it. Super informative. This is
my pleasure.
It's been a really enjoyable series, and everybody out there watching, we thank you for tuning in. And like I've said a couple times before, I know there's questions that I have. I'm constantly writing on my page as we're going through these, so I can ask questions. And even if you're not seeing this live, you can always ask questions in the forums down below, and we'll definitely get back to you. We've got a lot of information there. So even if it's not, it could be a positive thing or a negative. Even if you have a negative thing, we're not afraid. We'll answer your question. We'll be as honest with you as we possibly can. So
people post negative things on Facebook and the internet. I have no idea.
That's right. It's we welcome it too. Sometimes that's just a way of someone expressing, an issue, and then we can get after it. So we've got a lot of really good people watching that. So, no, thank you very much, guys. This has been a great series. We'll have another one either next week or in a few weeks, but they've been coming rapid fire. Like Aaron said, please like the page, please like the YouTube, and that's it, I guess, for everybody and everybody behind the scenes that make this happen. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
All right. See you guys later.